Hi, hello, welcome to the weekly reading wrap up for November the 17th. One day I will remember to look at the date before I start recording the video. So, this week, the same as every week, what we're going to do is talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read next, and then after that, we're going to go into what's been on the channel this week, what's going to be on the channel next week, and then we'll do any other recommendations or things that I might have that are non-book related, although the one I have this week is booktube related. So first off, what have I been reading this week? So I started off the week with finishing off Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson. So I have really enjoyed the Skyward series. This one was the weakest of the books. It was still a great read, and I rated this 3 stars, which is one of the lower ratings that I have given since I've had the channel, because I tend to only read books that I absolutely love. But I read this one. I did love the first 2, and I liked this one. I don't think it's a bad book at all, but I think that this book was for me more disappointing than bad, if that makes sense. It was well written, the story was good, I was interested in it the whole way through, but it wasn't what I wanted from the 3rd book in the Skyward series, if that makes sense. So I would imagine that if you were more along for the ride than I was, or maybe more invested in Spencer and less invested in the overall story of the war effort, the other characters in the DDF, then you might love Cytonic, and Cytonic might be your favourite Skyward book. But for me, it felt like similar to Sunreach, where Sunreach kind of felt like it would have been a B plot in a multi-POV story. This kind of felt like it would have been the A plot in a multi-POV story, and the other POVs would have made it feel less like a diversion. I think that if you had released Cytonic combined with all of the novellas, the Skyward Flight Collection novellas, as a single large volume, like a big chunky, like not Stormlight Archive length volume, but like a really big chunky book, I think that would have been really satisfying, and I probably would have been pointing to this as the best book in the series, because the Spencer story is really good, but I just spent the whole book going, what's happening with everyone else? And in Skyward, the other characters are part of the story, so you don't feel that. You don't feel that loss, that you don't feel they're missing. And then in Starsight, you do spend most of the book away from the DDF, but it feels like they're a little more involved because they're there at the beginning, they're there at the end, and then there's interlude chapters with Jorgen throughout. So it feels like they're a little bit more involved, whereas this one felt like you're just so far away from those characters that I loved. I have strayed into basically spoiling the entire review for you for Cytonic here. Check out my review for Cytonic. I will put the link in the video description. The review actually has not done incredibly well. 11 views, but I have had a lot of comments on that, which I always, views are important, but for me, the community aspect of BookTube is the most interesting part, because I started this channel because my wife is bored of hearing me rant and rave about books. So I wanted to be able to talk to you guys about the books. That hand was a bit close to the camera, wasn't it? So comments are extremely appreciated, and if you want to leave a comment on this video, we can chat about what you're reading, all that sort of stuff. Next up, I read Evershore, which is from the Skyward Flight collection. I'm holding up the Kindle disingenuously because for this one, I did not even touch my Kindle. I literally read the whole thing via the audiobook. I think the Skyward audiobooks are really, really good. to the point where audiobook is kind of my preferred reading method for these. And I was really tempted. So I've pre-ordered Defiant from Amazon. And honestly, I almost cancelled it the other day because I was like, maybe actually I should just get it from Audible and read it that way. And I think that when my physical copy arrives, I will genuinely be like torn between whether I want to read it or listen to it. Most of the time, when I read, I just read the book, and I might pick up the audio book to listen to in between times when I'm doing dad stuff around the house, like cooking dinner or cleaning up after my kid or my cats or whatever like that. So that's normally where audiobooks kind of slot into my life. Or, for example, while I'm at the gym or out for runs, that is a time when I spend a lot of time listening to audio. But with the Skyward books, I've genuinely been choosing audio and been like doing a jigsaw puzzle, for example, and listening to the audiobook and just really loving it. So maybe for Defiant, we'll go the full audio route as well. Back to Evershore. So Evershore's the best Skyward Flight novella, like hands down. It has everything I wanted, so it's got loads of DDF stuff. It's got some great world building, like Redorn had. And you spend a lot of time with Jorgen, who has kind of become my favourite character, apart from Spencer and Mbot in the series. I really love Jorgen. I like a lot of his character, and I really liked his character arc. More about Evershore in the review, which I have recorded and will go up on Monday. So if you're watching this on Friday, wait 2 days. If you're watching it any time from Monday the 20th, it should be live at 5 p.m. today. After I finished Evershore, I was at a loss. So let me just have a quick sip of the old coffee here. My voice is going. So I finished Evershore, and I was kind of looking at my pile of books, right? So I won't turn the camera because it's messy, but I have a literal physical TBR, which is a pile of books on the floor, because when I've read a book, I either decide whether it goes onto the permanent shelf or it goes to the library in donations. But my floor is my TBR. And I'm supposed to be reading a book called American Dirt by Janine Cummings. Let me grab the physical copy of it to show you guys. So I'm supposed to be reading this for my book club that I'm in at work. But I read the first chapter and I didn't mark it as started on Goodreads because I wasn't sure whether I was going to enjoy it. And I don't know what it was, but I was just not in the mood. This book is it's about a woman who is persecuted in her home country and has to illegally emigrate to the US. It's something that I'm definitely interested to read. And I do hope to read it before the end of the month because that's the deadline. But, we're just over halfway through. However, what I ended up picking up was something that I actually said I wasn't going to read this year, which was Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. So I know that this is a really Sanderson heavy month. If you hate Sanderson and you have been watching my videos, or at least watching the wrap-ups, I am sorry about how Sanderson heavy this has been, but I just wanted to read this, and I don't know why. And my want to read it also lined up with the fact that I'm going to be contributing a short clip to I've been asked to join in a roundup of like 50 other booktubers talking about our favourite 2023 release. And I have only currently read 2 2023 releases, I think, which is Holly by Stephen King and The Ice by Ryan Cahill. And I just wanted to... I know I'm going to read Defiant this week. God, my voice is really going. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'll cut that out. I know I'm going to read Defiant this week, which is a 2023 release. So I thought, I've got another physical 2023 release on my book floor. Let's read it, and then that gives me more of a base to think about when I contribute to this video. I'll share it on social media and on here once I've been able to take part. So Dress of the Emerald Sea, I am about halfway through, just before halfway, and I'm loving it. Really, really loving it. I like Brandon Sanderson's writing anyway. As you can tell, I've read 3 full Sanderson novels and 3 novellas which he co-wrote this month. I wouldn't do that if I didn't love his writing. But this book in particular, I feel, is a really nice departure from how he's written normally. I really, really like the voice of the narrator, which I won't spoil, but we can discuss it in the review. And yeah, overall, I've just really, really loved it. I'm so sorry. My son's had a cold this week, and I think I must be catching it. My voice is just going. So yeah, I've really, really enjoyed Dress of the Emerald Sea so far. I expect to finish it today, or at the latest tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm going to read next. I could start reading Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, because I did go for the Sanderson Kickstarter, so I have that. I could read some more American Dirt, and then just drop it when Defiant comes out, and then pick it back up afterwards. But we'll see how I feel, really, when I finish Tress. What else did I read? I also read 4 chapters of The Wandering Inn, which you can find on the channel, my full spoiler discussion for those. So if you are interested in The Wandering Inn, please join along in the read along. I'd love to have you. And it's such a fun story so far, and we've had a great chat in the comments. Do you know what? I'm going to get a drink of water, and I'm going to edit this quite heavily. So, okay, we're going to speed up now because my voice is basically going as we speak. I don't know how or why. This is awful. So, what am I going to read next week? So I have 2 possibilities. Now, I'm going to read Defiant first. Aside from Defiant, I should read American Dirt. But what do I want to read? I want to read something that I shouldn't probably read, which is Curse of the Mistwraith by Janny Wirtz. So, I watched a video this week, which I'm going to recommend later, which is an interview between Philip Chase and Matt from Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews. And Philip talked up Janny Wirtz's, I think it's called something of Saga of Light and Shadow, maybe? It's something of Light and Shadow. He talked this up so much, and I already had a physical copy of it. So I thought to myself, why don't I add this to my December TBR and then just start early so that I can get this done, or I might even end up being able to finish it in November. We'll see how long Defiant takes me. I would imagine 2 to 3 days, and I would imagine this will probably take the rest of the month. It looks intimidating. I have a second-hand copy, but you can see how small the text is. It's an intimidating book, but I just found out in that interview and doing a little bit of research that this series is actually finishing in May next year. And as you've seen with Defiant, I love being able to read along with a fan base as a series finishes. So I'm going to start this book, and I'm probably not going to read American Dirt, let's be real. I'm going to start this book, and if I love it, I'm going to add it to my TBR for 2024 along with the Wheel of Time. Ooh, that is That is definitely a decision. Reading two mega chunker series at the same time, and also there's 10 of these, and the 11th one is coming out in May. So that would mean I'd need to read 10 of these before May. As you know, guys, I love binge reading series, so maybe it'll all work out. But it's going to be a toughie. Let's talk a little bit about what's been on the channel this week. So, best video of the week is my Wandering In read along. So that has 70 views, 10 comments. Really, really pleased with the interaction. Multiple people have said in the comments that they're going to join the read along, and I love to hear that. If you're joining the read along, let me know. You don't have to read at the same pace as me. I'm sure it would be great fun if you could, so that you could read and join in with the rest of the community on the day the chapter comes out. But if you want to read and watch at your leisure, I will be watching the comments of those videos, and I'll be coming back and replying to every comment, and we can have a chat in the comments. So please do watch along. I'd love to have you. Worst performing review of the week is Cytonic. I say worst performing review. Worst performing video of the week is Cytonic. I was very surprised that my Dark Knights of Steel comics for fantasy readers heavily underperformed my expectations. So the previous comic recommendation videos, let me have a look, have done well. One did very, very well, and then the other one did well, but not as not as good as like the Wandering In video, for example. However, I think that maybe just the interest isn't there for American comics, so maybe that series might get retired until I have something really, really strong to talk about. But I have started this new series of covering the Wandering In, so maybe that will, and that's people seem to really enjoy. So, and I'm really enjoying reading it. So yeah, I think that's probably one that I'll continue. Well, I say probably one I'll continue. I know I'm going to continue that. So I'll see you guys in the comments for those. Next up, so that was it really in terms of videos this week. We're up to 140 subscribers as I read this. 140. So that's amazing. I've said before I didn't even expect to hit 100 this year. That was my target for the year. So the fact that I might hit 150 before the end of November is insane. I think I have got the Wandering In videos to thank for that, as people have subscribed to join the read along. If you're here for that and you end up watching this video, thanks so much. It's great to have you here. Subscribers mean so much to small booktubers. So again, thank you. What am I going to be putting on the channel next week? So Monday will be the Evershore review. That's recorded, it's edited, it's scheduled. Tuesday, I'm going to do a video about my 3-month anniversary on BookTube, because my 3-month anniversary is Sunday. So on Monday, I'm going to do a 3 months on BookTube video to put up on Tuesday. Wednesday next week will probably be Trust the Emerald Tea review, because unless I finish Defiant, if I finish Defiant, it'll be the Defiant review. Thursday, more Wandering In. Friday, weekly recap. The one caveat I have for next week is the Defiant review will go up when it goes up. So it's not going to be part of the schedule. And I will just shift out one of the Monday, Wednesday videos, either for that week, if I read it in time for Wednesday, or for the next week. So there might be no video the following Monday, or we might have a bonus video that is not on current reading. Defiant will just, because I want to get in as soon as possible. There will also be, I'm trying to get together a group to do a full spoiler discussion for Defiant. I know that I'm late on this one, but I have a bunch of friends who are huge Cosmere readers, and we're going to do a Trust of the Emerald Tea full spoiler discussion. It will be very, very light touch on spoilers for anything else in the Cosmere. So if you've not read everything, it's like, for example, I haven't read Elantris, I haven't read Yumi, and I haven't read The Sunlit Man. It'll be very light touch on those, but it will be full spoiler on Trust of the Emerald Sea. So me and a couple of friends are going to get together. We're going to record that. That will probably be that might be next week, or it might be the week after. We'll see. I don't think I actually have a slot next week to do it, so it may end up being the Tuesday video for the week after. Anyway, the one thing that I have to recommend this week that is not book related is that interview that I was talking about. So it's Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews and Philip Chase, who wrote The Way of Idan, which I reviewed and loved earlier this year. So they had a kind of a discussion interview about just kind of an interview with Matt, really, and talking about his favourite books. Matt brought up Malazan, and he also brought up The Wandering Inn. And so obviously I started reading The Wandering Inn because of Matt, but I've also I've added Malazan to my long-term TBR. Malazan feels like something that you can only read when you're not reading any other fantasy books, or maybe that you need to spend a lot of time reading. So I probably want to read Malazan when I haven't already committed to reading The Wheel of Time, and I haven't already added in an extra Curse of the Mistwraith. So Curse of the Mistwraith was actually Philip's recommendation, and he recommended Curse of the Mistwraith because he said that was the closest he'd got to Malazan. And Malazan sounds amazing. Curse of the Mistwraith sounds amazing, but if I had to pick one of the two at the moment, because I'll be able to join in with the community and read the 11th book, the final book on release, Curse of the Mistwraith is going to win there over Malazan, where all the books are out. And I know there's a lot of interest in Malazan, and there's a lot of people who love it, but I feel like I don't want to completely overwhelm myself. So yeah, Curse of the Mistwraith is from that interview has gone on the TBR, and from being nebulously 2024, it's now November 2023. So that'll tell you how good that interview is. So I'd really recommend watching it. And that's everything for this week, I think. I saw The Marvels last week and I loved it. Really, really loved it. One of my favourite MCU movies since No Way Home. Probably in the top 10 for the MCU for me. I know that's probably not a popular opinion, but I just absolutely loved it. Love the characters, love the sci-fi story. Lots of fun. I'm probably going to try and see the Hunger Games prequel tonight, but we'll see whether I've got enough time, basically. Thanks so much for watching, and it's been great having you here on the channel, and I love chatting to people in the weekly recap. Tell me what you're reading. If you like this video, give it a like. If you've got something that you want to chat about in the comments, please do so. The more comments, the merrier. And this may not be a sensible video to share with other people, but if you want to share it, please do. And please subscribe, join the community over here, join the Wandering Inn read along, and I will speak to you guys on Monday. Have a lovely weekend.